With the biggest buzzing business news of the day, I'm Vikram here on ET Now with this edition, the Monday edition of Business at 9. Hello and a very warm welcome indeed. Modi says Nehru did not believe in the potential of Indians, that Indira Gandhi did not have any different opinion about this either, and that the Congress and the country paid the price for dynastic politics. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was on fire in Lok Sabha. He ripped into the previous UPA governments. He spared no words to attack the tallest leaders of the Congress, both dead and alive. The Prime Minister has also added that his two-term government delivered what Congress could not have imagined. And to prove this point, he has cited UPA government's estimate in 2014 that the Indian economy would be the third largest only by the year 2043. And finally, the Prime Minister has declared that the BJP will get 370 seats by itself, and the NDA as a whole will cross the 400 mark in the upcoming general elections. So is today's speech to be seen as an indication that the poll battle is over even before it has actually begun? Is the promise of the third largest economy the reason behind Modi's confidence? And can the opposition give a spirited fight at this point?
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं देख रहा हूं कि आप में से बहुत लोग चुनाव लड़ने का हौसला भी खो चुके हैं। और मैंने सुना है बहुत लोग पिछली बार भी सीट बदली, इस बार भी कुछ सीट बदलने की फिराक में हैं। मैं देख रहा हूं देश का मिजाज एनडीए को तो 400 पार करवा ही के रहेगा, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी को 370 सीट अवश्य देगा। हमारी सरकार ने महंगाई को लगातार नियंत्रण में रखा है। दो युद्ध के बावजूद और 100 साल में आए सबसे बड़े संकट के बावजूद महंगाई नियंत्रण में है और हम कर पाए हैं।
एक ही भाषण दे चुके हैं, नामदार कामदार कितने बार बोलेंगे। नेहरू जी का देहांत होके 60 साल हो गया, फिर भी उसी गीत गाते रहेंगे। ये क्या हो गया मोदी जी को? मेरे ख्याल में वो जरा सा और कुछ फ्रेश ऊर्जा की जरूरत है।
देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री की सारे बातों में ऐसा लगा कि कांग्रेस दल के जो सभापति आदरणीय खड़गे जी ने राज्यसभा में यूपीए के जो विभिन्न कामों की जो विवरण दी, उसी के उत्तर में आज पूरी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अपनी भाषण वहीं पे उत्तर देते हुए अपना समय खत्म किया। फर्क बस इतना ही था कि खड़गे जी ने अपने पद की गरिमा और सदन की गरिमा बचाई रखी।
You heard the Prime Minister speak in Parliament, and then, of course, we got the opposition's reactions to what he said as well, chiefly the Congress. Let's break it down. Political commentator and analyst Amitabh Tewari is joining us on this edition of Business at 9. A very good evening, Amitabh Tewari. You know, this confidence that is being exuded by the Prime Minister, is it coming from the development work that has been done by his government, or is it clearly the weakness of the opposition that seems to be rather scattered at this point?
Well, so it's a mixture of many elements. One is, of course, the development work which his second tenure has given to the country. The country is on the verge of becoming the third largest economy. Another main factors is the beneficiary factor. So there have been a lot of schemes under which direct money transfer has gone to Labharthis, thus creating a significant Labharthi pool, which is now voting on the basis of its socio-economic status, not on the basis of the caste. So BJP or Narendra Modi has given a class tadka to the caste-based politics of a lot of regional parties. Of course, a weakened opposition, the non-starter India bloc, which has failed to finalize seat sharing agreements, and the positive fervor in the entire country which has been generated after the inauguration of the Ram Mandir, all of this gives confidence to the Prime Minister and the BJP that the NDA will be able to win 400 seats on its own. Prime Minister Modi is a man of records. Rajiv Gandhi won 404 seats for the Congress in 1984 Lok Sabha elections. And now we hear it from the Prime Minister himself that the BJP or the NDA is targeting to break that record. And of course, a significantly weakened opposition
Yes.
helps BJP to make such a bold
But
claim.
about the Indian economy and the point that was made by the Prime Minister, turning it into one of the three largest economies in the world, it seems it would be faster than what the UPA envisaged in 2014, what the Prime Minister highlighted. If I look at the Finance Minister Chidambaram's speech in his interim budget, he said it would be the third largest economy only by the year 2043. And here, it seems the Prime Minister is in fast-forward mode. Is that likely to help him in the polls this time?
You see, of course, what happens is that only 31% of voters, as per an Access My India exit poll, are loyal voters of any party. So there are a lot of swing or neutral voters. And for the larger middle class and the rich class, the business development and the GDP growth of the country play a very major role in their voting choice. So the work done on the economic front will largely play a key role in the minds of the middle class voters, who now constitute a significant chunk of the voting population. And with the per capita incomes rising in the country since the advent of the Modi's tenure in 2014, a lot of these voters now see confidence in the business development of India or the India growth story, and this could tilt the decision in favor of NDA in the upcoming polls.
Amitabh Tewari, when the Finance Minister was making her budget, she spoke about the four pillars, and those are, of course, women, farmers, the poor and youth. In terms of the constituencies that the Prime Minister needs to get more on board than others when it comes to who they would target this time as far as getting their numbers beyond 400, which are the ones that are lagging that this government needs to work on?
So see, if you see in terms of geography, BJP is behind in the southern part of India, and also comparatively it has lesser number of seats or a lesser strike rate in the eastern part of India. So these two regions become the focus region. In terms of the cohorts or the voting segments which the BJP is targeting, it hopes that it gets a larger chunk of the women vote due to the announcement of the women reservation bill, and also a lot of schemes which have touched the lives of the women. It hopes that the cohorts it's speaking about, which is largely the Kisan, Yuva, Mahila, along with the Garib cohort, it hopes that the beneficiary schemes turns them into voters. It hopes that the vision of India which Narendra Modi is presenting, which is largely an economic-led vision and not trying to divide society on the basis of caste and creed, helps swing a lot of the voters from the opposition parties as well as a neutral swing voters towards the BJP.
Which are the real risks as far as the bandwagon when it comes to the elections this time for the incumbents? Which are they? And how much do you think they're wary of these risks, and what are they doing about them as you see them right now? Or what do you think they should be doing?
See, one of the biggest risks is overconfidence. Prime Minister Modi is aware of this. Even we heard or we read in a RSS organizer article that the party or the organization cannot just depend upon the Modi factor and they need to actually work on the ground. The Modi factor, which is fairly strong, in 2019, almost one of every three voters voted for BJP because of Prime Minister Modi. While it is a strength, it is a weakness as well, because it somehow makes the cadre and the second rung leadership lazy, because they might develop some sense of false confidence that since Prime Minister Modi is there, we will be easily able to defeat the opposition. So one is overconfidence, the other is the Modi factor. If the opposition is able to still drive home the narrative, see, because while economy is doing well, I mean, there are two Indias. There is a 20% population which is doing well, and an 80% population which is still recovering from the after effects of COVID. So if the opposition is able to drive, or rather build a narrative catering to this 80% of the population and explain to them in very simple manner how their economic policies are going to be different from what Prime Minister Modi's is, then they will be able to get some traction. Currently, what is happening is that the opposition has not been able to communicate what they stand for.
Right.
And while there are issues regarding inflation, unemployment, agri-distress,
Yes.
how are they going to solve it? That level of credibility the opposition has not yet been able to earn.
Yes.
And that is why we see they have been lagging in charts and even the surveys and opinion polls.
That's true. So as far as a unifying force that binds the opposition right now, that being missing, the confidence is quite obvious, and it's coming through in the kind of numbers that are being projected by the Prime Minister in that speech that was made, crossing 400 this time. We'll see exactly how that comes through. Amitabh Tewari, it's a pleasure getting your perspective on this. Thanks very much for joining us on Business at 9.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, we are